The thick, humid air of the jungle clung to the rescuers' bright orange uniforms as they navigated through the dense foliage. Towering trees, tangled vines, and the distant calls of unseen creatures filled the vast wilderness. Somewhere ahead, a desperate struggle for survival was unfolding. A tiger, a mighty beast of the jungle, was entangled in a terrifying ordeal. Reports had come in from local villagers about eerie growls echoing through the night, mixed with the ominous rustling of serpents. When a patrol drone sent by the Wildlife Rescue Unit confirmed the worst, a magnificent Bengal tiger trapped in the heart of the jungle, its body ensnared by venomous snakes. Time became the enemy. The call to action. Ranger Kieran, the leader of the rescue team, studied the drone footage intently. The tiger, a massive male with fiery amber eyes, was sprawled on a thick patch of undergrowth, writhing in pain. Coiling around its body were multiple highly venomous snakes, banded krites and king cobras, their scales glistening ominously under the drone's infrared scanner. "We don't have much time," Kieran said, his voice sharp with urgency. "The venom is spreading, and the tiger is too weak to break free." With a nod, his team sprang into action. Each member specialized in jungle rescues, trained to handle not just tigers, but the many dangers lurking within the rainforest. The plan was simple yet treacherous. Tranquilize the tiger without spooking the snakes, carefully remove the serpents, and treat the tiger's wounds before it was too late. The jungle trek. Moving swiftly, the team carried their equipment. Tranquilizer darts, anti-venom kits, thermal blankets, and specialized snake-handling gear. The undergrowth was thick, the scent of damp earth and blooming orchids filling their lungs as they pressed forward. Overhead, a watchful hornbill let out a sharp cry, perhaps sensing the unusual disturbance below. The jungle was alive with movement. Shadows flickered as monkeys leaped through the canopy, and the distant roar of a waterfall signaled the vastness of the terrain. The team moved in practiced silence, communicating with hand signals to avoid attracting unwanted predators. Half an hour into their journey, Tracker Ravi held up a hand, signaling a stop. "We're close," he whispered. A moment later, the first low, agonized growl reached them. The tiger was still fighting, but for how much longer? The standoff. The team emerged cautiously into a clearing where the scene before them was both mesmerizing and horrifying. The tiger's once glorious orange coat was smeared with mud and sweat. Its body twitched as coils of death slithered around its limbs and torso. A massive king cobra had its fangs partially buried in the tiger's thick fur, likely delivering slow but lethal doses of venom. A banded krite curled around one of its hind legs, its grip unrelenting. Every instinct screamed to act immediately, but any rash movement could trigger the snakes into a full-blown attack. "We'll need to use the drone again," Kieran decided. "Distract the cobras while we take position." Tech specialist Mira quickly programmed the drone to hover near the snakes, its software disrupting the eerie silence. The king cobra raised its hood in warning, focusing on the unfamiliar machine, its tongue flickering aggressively. In that fleeting moment of distraction, Kieran and Ravi fired the tranquilizer darts. The darts found their mark, and within moments, the tiger's struggling began to slow. Its breathing remained shallow, but the sedative would prevent it from thrashing once they began extracting the snakes. The deadly extraction. Mira, the team's most experienced herpetologist, moved first. She used a snake hook to gently lift the krite from the tiger's leg, placing it into a containment box. Ravi worked next, carefully prying a coiled viper from the tiger's neck with a steady hand. The biggest challenge lay in removing the king cobra. It was still latched onto the tiger, its fangs embedded deep. With slow, deliberate movements, Mira tapped the cobra's tail with her gloved hand, coaxing it to release its grip. A moment later, the massive serpent uncoiled, striking at empty air before Mira expertly guided it into another containment unit. "That's the last one," she breathed, her voice laced with relief. The fight against time. With the immediate danger neutralized, the team turned their focus to the tiger. Its heartbeat was slowing, an alarming sign that venom was spreading through its system. "We need to administer the anti-venom now," Kieran commanded. The team worked fast, injecting the antidote and monitoring the tiger's vitals. Cooling compresses were placed on its body, counteracting the feverish heat brought on by the venom. As they waited, the jungle around them seemed to hold its breath. The usual chorus of birds and insects had gone silent, as if nature itself was awaiting the outcome of the tiger's struggle. The only sound was the rhythmic beeping of the team's portable vitals monitor and the occasional rustle of leaves in the wind. Time stretched unbearably as they waited. Would the great beast survive? A second chance. Minutes passed. Then an hour. The jungle had grown eerily quiet. The usual symphony of insects and birds seemingly paused in solemnity. Then, at last, a twitch. A low, rumbling breath. And finally, amber eyes blinked open. The team erupted into relieved smiles as the tiger weakly lifted its head. Though still groggy, it let out a deep, hoarse growl, a sound of life, of resilience. "He's going to make it," Ravi said, grinning. Over the next few days, the tiger was closely monitored in a temporary jungle enclosure, where it regained its strength. The team ensured it received proper medical care, fresh water, and food to aid its recovery. The return to the wild. On the day of release, the sun filtered through the towering trees, casting golden light on the enclosure. The air was thick with the scent of the jungle, fresh rain, damp earth, and the distant aroma of wild fruit. With a final scan confirming its full recovery, the team opened the enclosure gate. For a moment, the tiger hesitated, glancing back at the humans who had saved its life. There was something profound in that gaze, an unspoken understanding, a connection between species that rarely intersected without conflict. Then, with a powerful leap, the tiger vanished into the jungle, free once more. As the team watched the majestic creature disappear into the wild, they knew their mission was complete. The jungle, with all its dangers and wonders, had restored its balance once again. As they packed up their equipment, Mira turned to Kieran. "You ever think about what it means? Saving something so powerful." Kieran smiled, wiping sweat from his brow. "It means everything. Every life matters. And today, we did what we were meant to do." With one last look at the untamed wilderness around them, the team made their way back through the jungle, ready for whatever the wild would throw at them next.